Welcome to the Gigs Podcast. Today, we are on the road on a tour bus with Dreamliner, and we're doing this podcast episode from the road. We are on location of Dreamliner Luxury Coaches. I'm getting a personal private tour from founder and CEO Rich Thompson today. Rich, thank you for being here.
Absolutely, thanks for having me.
How long have you guys been on these grounds?
So we acquired Hempill Brothers Coaches November of 2023.
Well, we're gonna get into your whole story and the whole story of Dreamliner, but first, let's start walking.
That sounds good. Let's do it.
All right, tell me, what are we walking into?
So this is the custom build shop. So we have about 19 guys here, all kind of expert craftsmen building new coaches from scratch. We have this here is just a new shell. This is going to be a custom studio bus, but today it's just a shell. So this is how they come. This bus is literally all you'll see on the inside is just a shell. So it comes with a seat and a steering wheel. They drive it here, drop it off, and then the guys take anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks to kind of custom build everything inside of it, from lighting, electrical, walls, bathrooms, kitchens, couches, you name it. We start our installation. We do all sorts of stuff on the flooring for quietness, on the walls. The guys pop the ceilings up. This is just temporary so they can do some work. But literally it comes like this. There's nothing in here. All this wiring's us. And the guys start doing floor plan layout. And I'll show you some of the bays underneath, but the bays are all empty, nothing in there. And so the guys have to do everything, plumbing tank for water, restroom, showers, all that stuff.
What do you mean a studio bus? There's going to be a whole studio inside this moving tour bus?
So think like a crew bus, and instead of the rear bunks or a master bedroom like a Star Coach, the whole back will be one big studio. Big speakers in there. We'll have all the gear set up for anyone to come in and record. And a lot of people do. We'll do multiple layers of this versus a typical bus because we're going to try to keep it as dead silent as possible. So you can see here, this is just a total empty bay.
Yeah.
This is totally empty.
I'm going to go in. Confirmed, it's totally empty in here. Very cool. There's so much room.
It's nice and dirty too. Oh my God, that's amazing.
Woo! Oh, it is dirty, isn't it?
Well, not as dirty anymore.
No, I'm cleaning it for you.
Spraying her off.
Thank you.
They're getting that on video. That's fun. Okay.
Thank you. All right. That's what we call a whore bath. I'm just kidding. Hi, Christian.
Hey, how are you?
Great to meet you, Nikki.
Christian's the lead here in the shop and has been building for a long time. He can kind of tell you percentage-wise, but the guys have made a lot of progress on this.
Now it's going to be, we're waiting for door mechanisms and all that kind of stuff to go in.
Okay.
But other than that, it's most of our stuff's built. So when we're at this stage in the game, we could be done with this bus in a month.
A month?
Yeah.
So you get from 45% to 100 in a month?
Very, very quickly.
We spent a month going through the custom layout, designs, colors, everything. So the team is now building that. So it's not just a kind of just pumping out a bus.
Yeah.
There's going to be a baby bunk here and then a closet.
Oh.
So we're building it as a 6-bunk coach, just in case if they in 5 years say, hey, we don't want it anymore, we take that out. More bunks.
Nice. So this is going to be kind of the master bedroom then?
Yep, right here where he's standing. This is the master bed. We're going to have another wall just like this where you're at.
Yeah.
Full
Privacy.
60 by 80 mattress and a TV up here. And we've got a little cabinet section going right here. And then the back bathroom is back in here with a full shower and a walk-in closet.
A walk-in closet.
Walk-in closet.
Can I walk in?
Yeah, you're good.
All right, I'm not going to roll around in here this time.
You're fine.
Okay, so you get the designs from the artist. How soon then can you guys just execute and start?
The minute they put pen on paper, we're good to go.
How long have you been doing this, Christian?
I was born into it.
And so what stage is this?
We're still in fabrication. We haven't done any flooring or anything
Got
like
it.
that. So
All right.
we're still in the main process of building. We're not anywhere close to finishing yet. But like I said, we are 45%, but in the next week or two, this bus will be completely different and we'll be looking towards the finish line. Wow. Yeah.
All right, we'll come back in a couple weeks and
Let's
test
do it.
that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Christian.
Yeah, of course.
I really appreciate seeing this. So cool. All right, Justin, thank you so much for showing us. How long have you been working in this industry?
About 20 years.
Building buses. Tell me more about what you do.
I do a little bit of it all, but mostly generators and air doors. Generator just to supply you power while you don't have a shore cord, and air doors is like the automatic doors. And on our Star Coaches, they'll open with an iPad, your cell phone, whatever.
What? All right, we're living in the future here. Thank you, Justin. Very, very cool. All right, so we got a musician with us here, Damon.
Damon Gray, yep.
How long have you been working here?
About 10 years.
And doing what particularly?
Carpentry. As you know, I mean, the bus comes as an empty shell, and then we have to figure out ways to build cabinets and install those cabinets so they don't come out. There's a lot of different ways to build a bus, but there's usually only one good way.
What's the good way?
Our way.
So you started out, you were a country musician yourself.
Yes, I was on the road several years. I was on Broken Bow Records, and we used buses quite a lot to travel, and I had some star gigs, you know, that I played guitar for some of the stars, and so I spent a lot of time on buses, and I tell you, one of the things you don't want is rattles and noise.
True that.
That's the only place you get to sleep.
Right. So you actually got to experience firsthand what some buses did well, what some buses didn't, and now you can really make that good experience for others.
Matter of fact, one of the first tours I went on, we did a radio tour. They said, "Could you fix this?" I did, on the road. Yeah, so
wearing multiple hats on the road.
Yeah, multiple hats. Yes.
Playing guitar and
playing
fixing the
guitar
bus.
And fixing the bus. I'm going to build a vanity cabinet. So actually, I've got it laid out on the back of this. This will be the top of the vanity cabinet. It's a small vanity for the front bathroom of this star bus.
Front bathroom.
Very,
got it.
Very small, but you know, it has to be because we're limited on room.
All right, let's stop talking. You got to get to work.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
This is your plumbing here. So like your tank for showers, water, waste, stuff like that, and then the generator will come in from the other side. It's what makes what these guys do special and why these coaches are the nicest coaches, because they're spending time on it by hand. I mean, it's special, right? You come in and talk to these guys, and some of them have been doing it for 30 plus years. Some here 30 years, and they love what they do. It's nice to see. That's a trade you don't see very often anymore, you know?
Exactly.
So
we need to get more people into this world. Thank you very much. Okay, Doug, great to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
How long have you been working here?
This is be my 26th year. So
doing what?
Basically electrical, overseeing all the electrical, the interior electrical, that is.
What did you do before building buses?
Actually was in the United States Army. I was an aircraft electrician. I worked on Blackhawks helicopters. So kind of went from one extreme to the next.
Yeah,
So.
Blackhawk helicopters to tour buses. I don't think you could do anything less cool than that.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I mean, I love my job.
And what would you say for anyone who's looking to get into this world? What advice would you have for them?
Just be open-minded. I mean, obviously, be able to change, and with the changes, technology changes all the time. So, I mean, as long as you're willing to change with technology and everything, I mean, it's just a fun atmosphere to work in, honestly.
Very creative, too,
Yes.
I can imagine.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Doug. Where to next?
let's go this way through here. So we'll go straight across here. This is the interior shop. So these guys, all they do, they're doing 99% of their job is build new buses. And then when things need repairs or fixes, tweaks, adjustments, changing the bunks from 12 bunks to 8 bunks, or putting a bed kit in the back, or just, you know, things that go wrong in a bus, these guys are fixing it day to day. I mean, I think they say they put 12 miles of cable go through these things when they build it, right? Just the amount of electrical and things like that.
Like
So,
it's new.
yeah.
Do you ever have tours, have a bus call in here while they're fixing up, final
I
touches?
mean, you'll have drivers, and sometimes the crew's sitting there waiting because they want something different done, or if it's been sitting for too long,
Yeah.
sometimes something needs to get tweaked or fixed.
Hello, Mike.
Hello.
Talk to me about how long you've been in this industry and what you're doing.
Well, I was in school since the 11th grade, probably 15, 16 years old. But I had already been working all summers with my dad when I was young, so probably 25 years. You know, it's good to come in and get in a project and somebody tell you you've done a good job and it looks great, and where you've got a mountain of a job like we've got behind you there that we went through, and get it done on time when you can get it done, and get the right equipment and the right people to do it. It's satisfying.
I mean, I'll just say out loud, Mike's been a huge value. He's been in both shops, but him being over here is great because he's built every part of a new build, and so he knows everything about the builds here when things are
I built
changing.
this bus when it was very first built.
Right. So you were over there, built this, and this is what, a 15, 16, I think.
Yeah.
And so we're refreshing it for an artist. He knows everything about it. So when we make the changes, he can knock out a cabinet and build what needs to be built custom very quickly.
Wonderful to meet you, Mike.
Nice to meet you too.
I'm sure you got a lot of this is like a child to you. You originally helped build this bus, and now you're fixing it up.
Right,
How many
changing
kids you got roaming around Nashville?
Lots of kids.
Lots of kids. Thank you, Mike. Wonderful to meet you.
Have a good day.
You too. Carney, great to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
What are you cutting right now?
Piece of laminate to make sure it'll fit in my TV cabinet.
Can we watch?
Sure.
All right. I'm moving away. Easy as that.
Easy as that.
All right.
Gary Adams.
Nikki, great to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So tell me about what you do here.
So I manage a team that does all the interior repairs on our buses. As you've probably seen in the earlier bus, does all the remodels on the interior as well. Anything from wallpaper to plumbing. So that's a daily workload. That just shows all of our bus numbers and what day they're scheduled to leave. So it designates if it's here or at our east location between here and the other side of 24.
Got it. Hey, how are y'all? Good to see you. What's your name?
Sure, I'm Tara.
Tara, and what's your
Yes.
name?
Margaret.
How long have y'all been working here?
Full time for a year and a half for me.
I've been here 3 years.
3 years. And what did you do before this?
I actually traveled and sang.
Did you really?
Yeah.
On a bus?
Yeah. like-
What? Tell me about this. So the touring. So were you traveling around the States for
Yeah,
that?
it's my family. We traveled and sang, and since I was 18 years old.
So you know a lot about tour buses.
I do.
Okay. So how did you start working in this area?
My husband, he was a bus driver, and when this was previously Hempill, he worked here, and then it became Dreamliner, and he got me into this place. Yeah.
Tell me about the operations day to day. When a bus comes in, what happens?
They clean, and I do the laundry.
Y'all are doing the Lord's work. My goodness. You got some dirty, messy crew guys and girls on
There's
that
a
bus,
few
I'm
out
sure.
there, yeah.
Yeah. Why do you guys love this job?
Honestly, the people for me.
Right. Mhm.
It's like a family.
Amazing. Y'all are keeping the tour buses running. So this is a very, very important job. Keep up the good work.
Next and last building is split up in two categories. The first 6 bays here is paint and body. The other 3 bays on the other side is where they'll do the prep, and then we've got a full-size paint booth for buses in there.
Full size, but oh, I'm
Yeah.
excited.
So this is the body shop here where they'll do body work, and they can literally tear off any window, awning, any piece of the coach. They'll take it off, repair it, fix it. But you think about these coaches, some will do as many as 100,000 miles in a year. Most of them probably do on average 50, 60,000 miles a year, but some do 100,000 miles. So you imagine the amount of stuff that gets hit in the front and the damage to the front just from like day to day. This is a complete shell. So the other one had some stuff done. This is more of a shell.
Yeah, I would love to look at it.
So we can for sure go on that.
Yeah.
So this will slide out,
Yep.
single slide, and then you can actually we everything we order we spec it out with Prevo to order what we want, and so we do mostly slides. We've done a number of non-slides last couple of years, but we can order 1 slide here. We can order a 2nd slide. We can order a 3rd and 4th slide if we wanted to.
What?
This is the grease shop.
Yeah.
So this is just basic mechanics of the coach. But they'll do generator services and stuff like that too. Primarily, it's I'd say engines, transmissions, and like the Prevo parts. And then they also do work on our custom build sometimes on the stuff we do. That's more mechanically inclined than we want to have the interior shop do.
So what would you say is going on in this bus?
That's probably potentially a 250K,
Okay.
which is a 250,000 mile service where we literally pull the whole engine out and redo everything.
What?
So it's a major service.
I really wouldn't know any questions to ask about this.
No, you don't need to.
I don't know anything about vehicles. But for people that love cars, this is a tour bus engine. Cool. So Jay, you manage this whole repair shop. Can you tell me more about that job?
Well, it's a 24/7 job. We maintain the whole fleet, from services to major repairs, body work, more of the oil and maintenance and suspension, engine rebuilds, engine repairs. I started turning wrenches in 2004 right here in this building. So
Really?
yes.
If someone is interested in getting into this world and working on actual tour buses, maybe rather than cars, how would they get started?
Well, most people, they will go to a diesel college first.
Okay.
Some, like myself, have just got a chance to work with others that have been to diesel college or been in this industry for a while and just work your way up. Actually, co-driving also. I started co-driving 2007.
Oh my
So,
gosh. Okay.
yes.
How often are you driving?
Oh gosh, between April, May, all the way up to, I'll say October, pretty much every weekend.
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes during the week, so it's a good second job. I'm right there with the clients, so I can hear a lot of feedback that's how's the shop going. Just a one-on-one and being versatile and just being in all specs all aspects of the industry to.
They benefit by having the driver be the actual
Yes,
mechanic.
they feel a little bit more comfortable when we have a driver co-drive. Whether I go from here to Denver, all over the East Coast. So just depending on the workload here, of course, shop comes first, and then co-driving comes second.
Last question. What is your favorite state to drive through?
Oh, my favorite state to drive through, I would have to say New Mexico, unfortunately.
Ooh.
I know it's hot, but you can just cruise. It's wide open. Just set it on cruise 75 and no traffic and just...
Beautiful. Well, thank you, Jay.
Well,
Wonderful
thank
to
you
meet you.
guys.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
He's the lead out here, but he's also the guy that literally 24/7, he's got the phone with him. If someone needs help with something or whatever, they're going to call Jay. Jay's going to get on and be able to kind of really troubleshoot, and or he'll go hop on a plane and fly out if we need to go make a tweak or adjustment to something.
So he's a unicorn.
The amount of guys that, when we bought Hempill, we were very fortunate because a lot of the guys like him start in wash bay, start in the mechanic shop, go to paint and body. Like the paint and body guys, a lot of them have been over here and do both.
Wow.
Some guys have been in the interior and all these shops, and it's cool to have guys that broad experience because it's hard to find people in this industry.
Welcome to the Gigs Podcast. I'm your host, Nikki Sanz, founder and CEO of Gigs, the professional career platform for the live event industry. On this podcast, we are talking to the very best in the touring and live event industry to hear the good, the bad, the ugly, and the unreal moments of life gigging and lessons learned on the road. Crystal Johnson, thank you for joining us.
No, thanks for having me.
Okay, I have so much to learn about you. You've been into this industry for 25 years.
Yes.
Starting by riding a bus, right?
So actually, I moved to town and started at a record label as a publicist. And with publicity comes riding a bus a lot of the times. And so after a few years there, one of the groups I worked with was just busy and needed a full-time personal assistant and publicist. And so I came out of the label and went on the road full-time, doing all that good stuff. So I rode a bus a lot of miles.
Yeah. Okay, so you're riding the bus, touring. How did you end up where you are now?
So the funny story is I rode a lot of Hempill buses. So I had different drivers and things like that. So I knew the people in the office, I knew the drivers, I knew the buses. And so I ended up falling in love and getting married. And my husband's like, this is like a circus world. And I'm like, no, this is fun. I all over the country. I have friends all over the country. I know where every mall is. I know where the good places to eat. I get to do everything different every weekend. And he was like, no, that's not normal life. And so about the same time, Hempill was looking for somebody to come in the office and kind of work with the build crew and the main office, just with ideas and kind of organizing things. And so it was a perfect fit for me because I knew a lot of the people already and I knew how the bus worked and ran. And so that's when I came into the office. Okay.
So going back, which tours were you a part of?
I was actually on the Christian music circuit.
Amazing.
So I traveled with the Gaither tour for a long time. And then I also worked with a group called the Crab Family. And then specifically a comedian named Mark Lowry.
Amazing. Yeah. Whoa, yeah. Okay, how is comedy world different than music touring world?
It's all the same. You're on the road, and then different venues and the people. It's neat.
Yeah, just like maybe a smaller build of a set? No, probably not.
No.
Man.
Still production, lights, camera, action, all the above. So.
What was your favorite part of touring?
I loved the people. I loved being in the different cities and seeing all the different people. And just the love, the excitement that it brought. You know, it's like it brought everybody together. A live event brings people together.
Yeah.
And so seeing everybody there for a common cause and excited and have fun, it was a good night out.
Yeah. You were a true carny. And that's the thing with touring too, is like you get to be a part of someone's night that they've been planning for months and maybe even a year for.
Right.
So you get to be a part of everyone's favorite night. Who doesn't love a concert or a show?
Oh, I know. And, you know, whether you bring your kids or you bring your mom or, you know, it's just a family event together. It was really neat to see.
Okay. So you're on the road. You get off the road. You're in this marriage that's beautiful and wonderful, but I can imagine that was a tough transition for you.
Very hard.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah, it was different because I felt like I always had to have a suitcase packed and like where are we going next, and then to kind of sit still for a minute. was an adjustment. The good news is our business is so busy, and I still am around the buses, and I'm still with the schedules of them going out and in and things like that, that it kind of fills the void. And then you just jump on a bus when you want to go somewhere.
Oh,
yeah.
When do you do that?
Whenever there's somebody that we want to see, a concert nearby, or a client that we want to go visit, we'll take a bus out
Oh,
to see it
that's
run.
fun. So who is your artist that you're like, okay, I gotta follow forever?
I will follow Adele forever.
Okay, let's go.
Just because her show is unbelievable, her voice is unbelievable, and she's a great storyteller. And that's what I'm attracted to as far as music goes, is just a great story and how you interpret that to an audience.
Right. Oh, wow. Where did you see her?
Vegas. Well, I've actually seen her in Nashville twice and in Vegas twice. So.
Oh my God. Okay, when she goes back out, we will all go. I will see y'all there.
Yeah, exactly.
So talk to me more about the position that you have here now.
So I have a fun position now. I am in the executive offices, so I kind of work with Rich, our owner, to make sure his day's smooth and what's coming up next and all that good stuff. And then I also get to work with the build crew. We want to make sure that we preserve the quality of every bus, and so I spend a lot of time in the shop with the build crew, making sure that every bus we build is just to the high standards that we want it to be. And then I also work with clients when they come in to do a specific build, with special things that they request and colors and finishes and things like that, to make sure that it's exactly what they dreamed it would be at the end of the day.
I can imagine, just talking with Damien too, that the expertise you bring by being on the road and actually not only riding in buses, but knowing the clients that you're speaking to.
Yeah, and I say it to the guys in the shop. I'm like, all of y'all should ride a bus for a weekend or a week or whatever, just to know what it's like and what changes need to be made and the amenities you need to have to make it feel like home.
And any rattling needs to stop immediately.
That's our one thing. Most of our clients sleep at night and they have to perform the next day for a lot of people. And so we want to make sure that the ride and that their sleep is the most important thing to them.
Right. What is your favorite part of this job? What is your best day coming into the office and being like, man, I just love working here?
The variety and the people I work with.
Yeah.
And that makes it fun. The people make it fun, the clients make it fun, and the variety of the day. You never know what you're walking into. We can have a whole schedule planned out for the day, and we walk through the front door and it's completely different. But that's what makes it fun. You know, keeps you on your toes.
Yeah. What are some of the what's some of the variety that you are dealt with?
Schedule changes, life event changes. A client needs something right then, and we stop to make sure that takes place. Life, just life in general. It's all, every day is different.
Yeah. For anyone that wants to get into this industry, what advice would you have for them?
Just do it.
How?
I mean, just do it. Just take the time to learn and make your dreams come true.
Yeah.
Find somebody that you trust and listen. Go to lunch, go to coffee, and just ask all the questions. And just make it your passion.
What was one thing that you had to tour with? What was one thing you couldn't tour without?
Flip-flops.
Why? I know their answer, but I need to hear it from you.
Am I right? Yeah. Because you never know what you're walking into, and you should always have your feet covered.
Amen, sister. Yes, those are really nice showers in arenas sometimes.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Crystal.
No,
Pleasure to meet you.
Yes.
And so cool, your transition into off-road here at Dreamliner. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Damian Holton, thank you for joining us
Absolutely.
today. I'm excited to dive into your role here at Dreamliner. You've been here since 1999.
Yes.
Tell me about that journey.
Started in 1995 driving charter buses in the DC area, and was in Atlantic City one day on a trip and saw a bus didn't have a lot of windows, and I thought it was cool. So went and talked to the guy, and he was driving Luther Vandross. I was like, ooh, I want to drive one of those. Applied for a company called Star Tracks back then.
Yeah.
Buyout happened in 1999. I started with them in 97, buyout was in 99, and was at Hempill. And Hempill is now Dreamliner. So
Based
that's where
here?
we are. Yes.
Fabulous.
Yes.
Okay, so you were driving.
Yes. Been
Talk
a
to me
driver
about
since 95.
Since 95.
Yep.
Who have you driven? Or what tours were you on?
Oh gosh. Stevie Wonder, Mariah Carey, Rihanna. I was with Sandra Bullock for 11 years.
What was she doing?
She didn't like to fly. She was in a plane crash. Plane slid off the runway. And I went out on a tour with some guy. Nobody even knew she was dating this guy. And met her. She loved the bus. Was like, ooh, I want one of these. And
Whoa.
there it was. So built the bus here and was with her for 11 years. So.
Sandra. Oh my gosh, these are some huge tours.
Yeah.
So you were doing mostly like arena and stadiums, yeah?
Yes.
Whoa.
Done some small stuff. Doobie Brothers, everybody's driven them. They're a good time. Marilyn Manson. I mean,
Different time.
Godsmacks. Yeah. It's good stuff.
What's your favorite part about driving?
Enjoyed seeing the country and seeing everything, but it was the people.
Yeah.
You know, you get to meet different people, and it's always the last minute stuff. I kind of crave that last minute. Ooh, let's switch this up and do that. And
did you get to watch the shows?
You can,
You
but
sleeping?
yeah, you're sleeping. Yeah, it's you don't go too much. At all.
So, you know, you're a driver. You drive through the night while everyone's sleeping. You arrive day of show. Then everyone wakes up and loads in. As they're loading in the show during the daylight hours, you are being driven to the hotel and going to sleep?
Cleaning the bus when they get off. You got to clean the bus, polish your wheels, do all that, clean toilets, all the fun stuff.
Fancy.
Yeah. Then you go to the hotel and go to bed.
Then you go to sleep. Yeah. Because then you're driving through the night to get to the next day.
Yep. You get back and everybody's tired and they're ready to go to bed. It's
Yeah.
time for you to go to work.
What's the longest you've been out on the road?
I think the longest I had a stretch of 342 days, 340 some days. Yeah.
That's a year, man.
Yeah.
That's a whole year.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Who was that with? Or were you kind of hopping
Just hopping
all
around. Just hopping around.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How did you like that, being out for
Oh,
that long?
back then I was single and
Okay.
not married and kids.
You were just
was
doing
great.
your thing.
Yeah.
Okay, when did you get married?
2014.
Mm-hmm.
2014.
You were still driving at that time?
I actually retired semi to get married and have kids and everything, and so here I'm back.
And so
but
now-
not driving. So
Not driving.
Yeah.
And doing what now?
VP of tour operations. So once the phone rings, we take the call. The team takes the call, and we take them all the way until the buses get back here.
Whoa. I can imagine you need to fully understand as a tour driver in order to have that position.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Every aspect of it. And it's about the relationships with the tour managers, with the band, with everybody that's out there.
Right.
You have to have that in order to fully take care of somebody who they need to be taken care of.
What is something that you don't really think about that you get a call about and you're like, oh God, I gotta handle that? What is something that I guess you wouldn't really think is like a common issue, or what's the most common issue that you need to deal with?
Routing changes. And they say at the last minute, oh, we want to reroute and do this. Breakdowns.
Yeah.
It's huge. We're on the way somewhere. We're going to a show. The bus broke down. It's 3:00 in the morning. The whole team's scrambling. We're like, okay, we got to get them there. Do we throw them in an Uber? What do we do?
What was your favorite tour that you got to be a part of?
Probably Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
Why?
I did go to his shows.
Yeah.
And it was just, he's just a regular, like he talks, oh, did you see on the news last night? And it's like, okay. All right.
You watch the news?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
you're a person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Rihanna has a special place for me, so.
Was it marriage and kind of settling down where you're like, all right, now it's time to retire? Was there a moment where you're like, man, I don't think I can do this anymore?
Oh, no, I knew I was never going to get married and do this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
You had to pick one.
Tour. Yeah.
Do you miss it?
Nope.
Oh, why?
I don't. Because I like being home. It was time for me to come off the road.
Right.
It was time. This is where I'm supposed to be right now. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. So,
yeah.
I mean, I miss the camaraderie and,
yeah,
hanging out with the guys, but I know I still see them all. They come here. We go out and visit tours. So,
nice.
Where I'm at right now is where I'm supposed to be.
Absolutely. And you have the knowledge to bring it in.
Yeah.
What would you suggest to anyone looking to get into just touring, logistics, driving?
Get out there and do it. Get out there and do it. Go out there. We got a lot of great guys to learn from. Get out here, go through the training, and there's no school for this. There's no book. There's nothing. You just have to get out there and do it.
Does Dreamliner mentor and coach? And
yes, we do have a training program.
Great.
And drivers come in, they'll get trained, they'll go out. We'll send them out with seasoned guys to teach them the ropes, because every tour is different. Every person on that bus is different, and you got to learn how to deal with all of them.
Last question. What is something that you could not drive without?
Music.
You get into this industry for that reason, I'm sure, as well.
Yeah.
And who's your person that you would pay any amount of money to go see?
I got nobody.
Nobody. You've already seen the ones you care about?
I'm not like, I like shows, but I'm not, I got to go see this person.
Okay, what's your
Okay, there
record?
is one person. There is one person.
Let's go.
Adele.
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh, same. Have you seen her?
No.
Me neither. She just ended her residency.
I know.
It'll happen again. She's
it has to.
young. She's got a lot of years left. Yeah. And probably another better album. You never know.
Has to.
Coming from a divorce, let's go. Anyways, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cool
Thank
hearing
you.
from a driver's perspective and that transition into off the road, doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're totally where you're supposed to be.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Paige Pentecost, thank you so much for joining us today. So you've been here 3 years. Would love to hear about your start, what got you into this, and then what you do now.
So I started with Diamond 2 acquisitions ago.
Yeah.
I started as the receptionist and kind of an admin assistant. And then when Dreamliner bought, I took on more responsibility and kind of came more into the leasing role and more like direct support for leasing.
I've seen your computer. It's like, it looks like 6 computers put on one screen. I've never seen anything like that. And it just looks like you got your spreadsheet of all the different leases going on. How many do you have? Over 200 buses? I mean, are they all being leased out right about to happen? Like, how does that work?
Our schedule has a line for each bus, and you keep up with each bus and each bus's movements. Sometimes you'll have 10 to 12 buses go out on one tour, and sometimes you'll have 20 tours with one bus each, and you're managing 20 buses for 20 tours.
Oh my gosh. And you are that point contact for those tours?
Yes, so we each have our select tours that we work with, and you follow them from start to finish, from when they reach out with their routing till they come back.
How soon notice do you get some of these tours? Like, do you have time
some
to
of them
prepare?
give great notice. I mean, like, we're getting requests right now for the fall and for 2026. So I mean, some of them are like super on it, and then others they're like, hey, I'm going out next week.
And y'all accommodate if you have it?
Yeah, we try.
Wow, that is pretty amazing. And can they be based anywhere in the States?
Yes.
Okay. And you'll just have the buses meet them there?
Yep.
All right. How many are out right now? It's a week in February. How many are out?
Bus-wise, we probably have 70-ish out right now.
That is amazing. And then when will all buses be out?
I would say middle to end of March. Yeah.
Dang. Who is your favorite artist that you would die to see live?
They're all giving me grief because I'm a Swiftie.
Oh.
So.
It's fine. I'm not going to give you grief, but I'm also not going to give you praise. I'm just neutral on this subject. Did you see her?
I did when she came to Nashville, yes.
Oh, nice. I was working the third show when it rained. And
that's the one I was at. I sat in the rain.
That was awful. Did you like it, though?
I did. I did.
She's a Swiftie.
I am.
Amazing. I appreciate you. This is awesome. Thank you for sharing this. Thank you, Paige.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Will Hempill, welcome to the Gigs Podcast. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
All right. So Hempill, I know this name. Please tell me about how long you've been involved in this whole world.
Yes. So I started at about 15, washing buses and doing some filing in the office a little bit, just during the summers.
For Hempill buses?
Yes, for Hempill. I work full-time since 2022.
Working full-time doing what?
So I started off learning the industry, and the first real role that I had was managing our online contact form, where people would reach out for quotes, and just kind of like learning to know who to send what to, make sure that we were giving people responses quickly.
How many buses did you have?
We ended up at about 120.
Helping with that, and then now at Dreamliner, talk about that.
So I'm a lease agent.
You're a lease agent. Do you have a similar massive computer screen with all?
I do. I do. Yeah.
How many are you currently managing?
We're pretty close to half and half between me and Paige right now. Yeah, and it's generally me a little bit more on the country side and Paige more on the pop, rock, hip hop side.
Do you enjoy country?
No. Yeah.
Okay. What's your music? Who's your favorite of all time?
A few years there were probably Kanye West.
Okay. Yeah. Heck yeah. So, have you ever seen him?
I haven't.
And you may never.
I know. Yeah. It depends. Yeah. If I get a time
maybe he'll
machine,
have a comeback. We'll see.
Yeah.
And what is your favorite part of the business now, as Dreamliner? Just kind of seeing that transition.
I like solving problems for people.
Yeah.
A lot of things can happen on the road, and there's a big risk of, obviously, as you know, canceling a show is a massive loss to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And including both the people that were going to get paid or the people that have paid money to be there. And so, it's very time sensitive. It could be getting a call at 3 a.m. And trying to solve the problem with the team and make sure that the show goes on.
Well, Will, thank you so much for being here.
Right,
really
yeah,
awesome
absolutely.
to meet you, and I love it.
Fun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm excited to welcome Rich Thompson, founder and CEO of Dreamliner Luxury Coaches. Coming from the world of finance, Rich is now leading a company that's become a go-to for artists, athletes, and high-profile clients who need more than just a ride. They need a home on wheels. Rich, welcome to the Gigs Podcast.
Thanks, Nikki. Appreciate it. Happy to be here.
This has been a really fun day. I really want to start with, it's the middle of COVID. You know nothing about tour buses, and you decide to buy 12 buses. How did you convince your wife that was a good idea?
Fortunately, my wife trusts me to make business decisions. But listen, I learned about the industry in middle of 19. Just thought it was a really cool industry, nice, beautiful buses and assets, and learned a good amount about kind of the landscape of the companies that were out there. When COVID hit, and I was approached with an opportunity to buy 12 buses, I said, why not? The world's going to start again sooner or later, right? So it was definitely a gamble at some level, but these were 12 newer coaches, very nicely built. But I guess I figured that the world would start again, and I'd ride it out as long as I could. I initially thought the world would start in January, February of 21. Didn't start.
Nope.
I thought, well, for sure April. Nope. Thought summer for sure. Nope. And then finally in August, we had our first tour with Jonas Brothers. August of 21.
Jonas Brothers.
Yeah, was our first tour. So that was, I guess it was a little nerve-wracking because it didn't happen exactly, but we had, we went into it with a runway thinking, we have time if this doesn't happen, and we wanted to make sure the business was up and going the right way first. So
right. Did you know anything about the maintenance of a bus and like how all that worked? Like how did you learn this industry? How did you just dive in? You were in California, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Outside of 2019 and learning about the industry and seeing the coaches and just spending some time researching and digging into the numbers and how things worked, I really didn't know much about the buses. Hell, I still, compared to the guys that I have in the shop here, I don't know anything about the buses compared to them. But I'm learning a lot over time. And back then, I hired a guy to kind of a leasing agent to run the business and to get the buses out there and leased. And he did a lot of it, and then hired some folks along the way to help manage them when we were out in California. And that's how we got it going.
You know how to find smart people to help you navigate the world. How did you get Jonas Brothers? Arguably one of the largest tours of 2021.
Through the former leasing agent I had here.
Okay.
Here, yeah. So he was kind of running the day to day. I was in the backdrop controlling all the finances and and all that, and he was. Again, at the time, it was 12 buses, and it was like he'd been leasing much bigger fleets than this, and so it was easy for him to just go lease the buses, and that's all I thought it was at first. I thought it was just going to be, all I needed was a leasing guy to lease these buses, and it'd be a really nice side hustle to my other business.
A side hustle.
Yeah.
Yep. And was it a side hustle for you?
It was for a hot minute. I guess I'd say probably the end of 21, there was thoughts of this becoming more. But after I bought the 12 buses in October, in Q1 of 21, met with the folks at Prevo and had an opportunity discussing with them or during COVID when no one was buying buses. So I was negotiated an opportunity to buy a bunch of buses from them when no one was buying, which worked out really well. Built a real nice relationship in a tough time with Prevo. And so that's when we started building, buying that many more and building more coaches outside of the 12 we had.
Right.
And so started building those for the next, 2 years.
2 years. Well, in those 2 years, as I remember, because I went back out on the road in 21, everyone was out. And by 22, everyone was on the road. Everyone needed to come back out and make money, and no one had a bus. That was the common, everywhere, every Facebook group, everyone was saying, do you have a bus? How do we get a bus? So tell me about that. Like the demand was there. So were you just like, we need to buy more buses? Or, what happened there in 22 for you?
So if I back up just quickly, the 12 buses was leasing. The buying a bunch of buses from Prevo was, okay, opportunistic again. Let's buy a bunch of new buses because we know there's a shortage.
Mm-hmm.
So we bought those, and then in 22, you're right, a lot more going on. The world fully restarting.
Mm-hmm.
We're still continuing to grow and build new buses, and spending a good amount of time with the founder of Diamond Coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Had the opportunity to buy her business from her. 20 years in the business, founder of the company. Kylie's a great lady. She's been nothing but helpful and supportive. And so when I had the opportunity to buy that business was when I really realized this was not a side we were going to go from kind of low 20s of coaches to 60, 65 coaches pretty quickly. And, wanted to keep that high end of the fleet. So we ended up selling off a couple of the older coaches, but we had a really nice, good sized fleet. And we got to, piggyback off of our new coaches and then Kylie and Diamond's reputation as well, and moved the business from California here to Nashville. So we moved our headquarters here to Nashville to become kind of a real company.
And that means you and your whole family had to uproot to here. Talk about that. Like, were they excited about coming to Nashville? Were they going to miss California? Was California still locked down at that point?
When we moved, no.
Okay.
To say my family was excited would be an absolute lie. We lived in Manhattan Beach, and I think my wife and kids were as happy gets. We lived in a great community, and we had all three of our kids there.
Oh,
and so it was a very big move, which my family, my wife, God bless her, she's rolled with it. My kids have rolled with it. And, I think we're in a great place now. We've been here a little less than 2 years, and they're settling in. The kids make friends fast. But I really like it here. We're definitely part of the community, and I really enjoy the people in this business and community are what make it fun. So the family's rolled with it. They've put up with me and put up with the move for now, and we go back, as much as we can to give them weekends with friends and go to the summer and spend some summertime there.
How many kids do you have?
3.
3.
Yep.
How old were they when they made this move?
Well, they're 9, 11, and 12 now. So,
Got it.
they were probably 8, 9, and 11 or something like that.
What do you see as the biggest difference between, was it around in LA or were you in?
We were in Manhattan Beach.
Manhattan Beach.
Yeah.
What do you see as the biggest difference, Nashville versus?
My knee jerk is space. Manhattan Beach, everything is, LA in general. Manhattan Beach is very, everything's close to each other because there's not as much space there. So we had a small little house, but it was in a great community, and it was a very tightly knit community. So we knew all our neighbors, and kids were running in and out of our backyard without asking, walking in our front door without asking. We just knew a lot of people there. So it's a real community base. Here, everyone's got bigger lots. There's more space, and the community aspect's very different. So that's been a big adjustment for us. Our kids are just used to like hopping on their bike and going to 15 neighbors' houses.
Got it.
Our neighborhood's not bad by any stretch now, but it's very different. It's not the same type of community and involvement from house to house.
So community is important to you.
Very.
And that was clear as we were doing a walkthrough of the whole facility here that so many people said, what's your favorite, when I asked what's your favorite part of working here and doing this, they said, oh, this is a big family. So clearly you brought, your love for community from just home into this business. So how do you instill that kind of culture with Dreamliner?
So I was very fortunate to have to be able to purchase Hempill, because Hempill had done a phenomenal job with that. The tenure and the folks that worked here had been here for a lot of years and had a lot of loyalty to the business and to Joey and Trent. And so coming into that, I think a lot of skepticism on who I was and, this new guy, and rumors in this industry are heavy.
It's a real small industry. They
Yes.
love to talk.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. And I think drivers get a lot of time on the road to talk too. But no, I think, listen, people are the most important part of the business, right? Outside of your employees, it's your clients.
Mhm.
So if you can't, listen to them, and you can't build relationships with them, and you can't get them to trust you that you're going to do what you say you're going to do, and you're going to provide them things that you say you're going to provide, or things they're used to being provided, I think it's hard, because you're never going to build that trust.
So how many buses and trucks and people do you have right now?
I think we have about 212-ish buses.
Okay.
We have 70-ish trucks.
Okay.
And maybe a little over 220 trailers.
Wow. Okay, got it.
So.
And how many people are working on all these?
Our head count with drivers right now is probably in the 450 range. Not 500, but for 450, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All in Nashville, based here.
Drivers, drivers live a lot of different places. Everyone comes in here to get their coach, flies in for it, but they live a lot of places. And then we have our California facility with employees there. That's a full service center. We have our Denver facility, again, a full service center there. And then the rest of the folks here in Nashville.
Got it. All right, so it's been now 5 years, over 200 buses, over 70 trucks, 450 people. I mean, you got to be so proud of scaling this thing. Do you want to continue scaling it? Like, what do you see over the next couple of years? In 5 years, that massive scale, do you now want to maintain, or do you still want to be growing?
I think you kind of always have to be growing. I don't think we're going to grow anywhere near at the scale or percentages we were from early days. I think now we need to be a lot more thoughtful about scaling. We know bus as well. If bus opportunities are there to do things here or there, great. But we're also focused on building our own fleet, being thoughtful in how we grow, getting outside of music. Music's 95+% of our business, probably 98. Doing more sports, media, maybe corporate, whether it's NASCAR, whether it's IndyCar, PGA, NFL. I think there's a lot of opportunity to do more of that and expand. This product we have in the crew bus is one thing. You start looking at some of the custom star coaches, and there's a lot of people out there that don't know there's an option to lease this bus on a weekly, monthly, annual basis to take their family on trips, to show up at the tournaments or the games and matches they're going to. I think there's a big opportunity for that.
Why has it just been music? Why hasn't it been available, I guess culturally, for these other industries, I guess?
Well, this industry's, as you know, very niche, very small, and these were created for a reason, right? It's for music, because these guys live on the buses. Most of the other industry does not live on the buses. They're using them for fun, for trips and doing things, but they're not sleeping on them every night. They're not getting in at 1 a.m., waking up at 8 a.m. in a new venue, or getting in here in Nashville and showing up in California for a show, sleeping and being in a thing for 30 hours. So I think the most utilized in music. And in the other industries, I think a lot of people can't afford it, but the people that can't afford it don't know and understand. And when they look at some of the builds that people that do high-end motorhomes, they go, do I want to drop $3 million on a very fancy motorhome? Maybe they don't know that if they called us, we could build them something and they could lease it from us annually and drop it off and done and have all the services and management taken care of, versus having to put it in your, these people put it in their driveway or in their yard or field, and it gets crushed, and they have to spend a bunch of money getting it fixed up. And so there's just some education that needs to happen, I think. Yeah.
So it seems like music, it's because it's a necessity. Other industries, it can be a luxury. You mentioned that the corporate, or what is the executive buses that y'all are building, that is basically just a work site that can be mobile. I mean, I can see this for political campaigns and for NASCAR, for all these different on-site, to have a suite to impress clients or whatever. It's very interesting. And I think with your background of finance, and not just solely in the music world, because we're just doing this for music, this is going to really help, scale to any industry. It's very cool. So talk to me about these 75 trucks you got.
Trucks are fun. It's a whole new animal for us. But we're, again, fortunate to the two companies we acquired both had very seasoned founders and management teams. So these guys are all real operators. They've been in the trucks, driving the trucks. They know exactly how everything works. So bringing these two companies on to really provide that real operator level experience was mandatory. There was no way to buy a truck and a trailer and say we can start figuring this out, get a truck driver. You needed to have relationships, you needed to have experience in operations. If there's something I learned in finance, it's that like you're back in the operator, right? You need to have that guy that understands the business and knows the business. The real exciting part is that you can take our leasing team and our existing tours that we work with and clients and say, by the way, every one of you that takes a bus takes 2 trucks for every 1 bus, right? So do you want us to do, your trucks as well? Should we look at doing that and, be your kind of full service transportation provider? So I think that will end up being extremely valuable to a lot of people. I think it's going to take time because everyone's got their relationship or who they use, right? And we're never going to be everything to everyone. But I think to a lot of our clients, I think we can provide that one-stop shop full solution, and that'll help us grow tremendously.
Wow. Do you have your CDLA?
I don't. I've driven a bus one time
illegally
in our lot here.
Heard. Okay.
In our lot here to go park it. Got a lot of good laughs and videos of me doing it. And I actually would love to do it because I think it'd be fun to do. I got to find the time to do it.
Yeah, right.
But
it's a lot of hours to get it.
It is. Fortunately, though, we are now with our growth, we're going to actually start having the ability to get people their licenses here. We're going to have our own team, which is going to help us with kind of helping bring more people, younger drivers, to the table from trucks, maybe trimming trucks guys moving into buses, guys that want to drive, that have some experience coming and start learning in a truck before they move around. I think it'll be a great opportunity to help an aging population of drivers to bring more talent to the table.
Well, and it's very interesting too. You have so much experience in these shops and, the 20 years, 30 years working in fabrication and carpentry. You probably need some new young blood too to come in, and what a cool job. So like if you're on the road and you're a carpenter or you're an electrician or lighting, this I would imagine is a great off-ramp, off-ramp into staying in the business somehow and still being creative, right?
Yeah, we have a number of guys that have come off the road. I mean, our driver coordinator had been on the road for years, came off the road because he wanted to be closer to his family while his kid was growing up. He's now our driver coordinator and does an excellent job with that, and his wife works here now. So you have a lot of that. And listen, one thing I think that's interesting about what you guys do is this industry doesn't have like 1,000 people out there that have been knowing and understanding this business.
Right.
So people need to know that there is opportunity here, whether you're a carpenter, whether you're a plumber, you're an electrician, whether you want to be a driver, whether you want an office job, like we have those jobs here. Right. So that opportunity, I think, for people that are on the road want to come off, or just people out in the market that are like, I'm looking for something, we're here, and most people really don't, I don't think, or know that we have this size of operations we have.
And to get benefits. And I mean, a lot of people, hopefully things change, but if you're on the road, you usually don't have health benefits and you aren't really, often don't have a salary. And so to come into more stability, if you want to just be actually stable in a job like that, that's a great off-ramp. Very cool to learn because I'm learning all this stuff every day. I mean, man, when I was getting off the road, I didn't know what to get into. There's nothing out there. So this is good to know. What are your favorite times with this company? The days that you come in and you leave and you're like, man, I'm so happy we did this. What are those moments that you love about this industry now?
My favorite day is the day that I don't actually sit at my desk and respond to emails or get on calls. The most fun I have here is I walk out through the build shop. I talk to all the guys, whether we do it one-on-one or with a group. I walk through the builds to see how the builds are going, progress, see what's going on, any issues, how everyone's doing, which can take a while sometimes.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to have a conversation.
Yeah.
But that's the fun.
Yeah.
Walk through the interior shop, same thing there. Walk by housekeeping there, paint, body, grease. You can walk through all of them. And the tough part is that I never get to emails or my desk because I end up, saying I got a half hour to walk through things. And then an hour and a half later, I've missed calls, meetings, and Crystal's calling me 10 times saying, Rich, you missed that whole call. I've been yelling at you, calling you. But that's fun for me, right? Because again, you get to, these guys appreciate it. I appreciate it. You get to hear about these guys that, whether you're in the build shop 30 years or our paint and body team or the grease shop guys, they all love just to get a couple minutes.
Yeah.
When the owner's sitting around, like,
right.
it's nice to have that kind of one-on-one discussion. It's hard for me. I get to do it less and less.
Yeah.
I feel like. But as we kind of build out the team a little more, hopefully I'll be able to do that more and kind of, have more people around me helping out.
That's awesome. That's cool. And what are in your role as owner, what are some of the things that come across? You walk in and you're like, I'm gonna pull my hair out. What are the things? Is it, this bus got hit by a deer, or is it client issue? What are the things maybe in someone that wants to start a bus company are the pain points, are difficult?
Toughest one is probably just finding out that someone did something stupid, right? I think last year we had a number of drivers backing into things, as an example.
No.
Right. And listen, it's not always their fault. I mean, you can say it's always their fault because they're at the wheel, but these venues are tight. What they have to do with these buses and trucks is pretty amazing in these tight venues. And sometimes there's not a spotter to help them. Sometimes there is. But I think, coming in, to your question, when you come in and you sit down, you're like, well, this guy bumped into that and this guy bumped into that, or you accidentally hit that. And you're like, our paint and body shop only has so much capacity, and you're like, well, is it bad? Can we roll, or do we need to get it into the shop before we can send it back out? I don't want buses rolling around with big dents and dings and scratches. Right. We want it to look like a brand new bus all the time. So that's probably the biggest one. And then other stuff is kind of internal nonsense. When you have enough employees and a big enough office, and as you saw, like, we kind of have, it's probably a little tighter than it should be because we got too many people, but I like it that way now while we're growing and expanding. Everyone's need to collaborate more, talk more, sit in each other's offices, and just like that collaboration's huge to me.
Yeah.
So when you hear someone, well, this person did that and they didn't get this done that way, I'm like, come on, guys, we don't need to argue about it.
Family.
Like, just put it to bed and let's just do our job. And not every day is going to be perfect.
Yes. And so we are coming up in March, going to be having a Gigs Dreamliner joint event, which I'm really excited to bring. I think it's funny because I've been here for Bus Call, I guess when it was Hempill. And so I think a lot of people on Gigs have been to this lot, especially in Nashville. But I'm excited to bring people in to see Dreamliner. And do you want to talk about kind of that event and what that means to you as a newer owner and newer to Nashville?
Sure. That is me being new is the excitement part for me, right? Yeah. I think, again, a lot of people that even been around Nashville, been in the industry, don't really know what all goes on here and how big the operation is. But being the new guy, I love meeting more people from the area and the industry. It's, everyone's on the road all the time, so it's hard to go sit down and have lunch. My old, in finance, I can go meet guys for lunch any day of the week, breakfast, lunch, dinner, drinks, you name it. In this industry, it's tougher to do because everyone lives on the road and they're busy, and when they are at home, like, no one wants to go spend time out when they're at home. So having more people here, meeting other people in the office, just the team and people getting to build more awareness of who's who and what's what. And we might be kind of the largest bus company, but we're just like everyone else. We're just a bunch of guys trying to make sure that we provide a good product and a good service to all of our clients. Yeah,
it's gonna be fun. And because of people will be actually starting to really go out on tour right now. It'll be on a Monday or a Tuesday. Yeah, on a roadie Friday or Saturday. Yeah, so that's going to be a really good time. We'll have more information sending out about that. Really excited to collaborate on that. Is there anything else you would like to?
I think probably the other main things I'd hit on is, with our fleet now and with the business and the infrastructure we've built, I think the part of the building awareness is letting people know that we do have facilities and resources to help. So, whether you're another bus company, whether you're another tour and something happens, like, we're here to help. We've got 5 rescue coaches spread across the country.
What is a rescue coach?
A rescue coach is one of our coaches that we put in a certain geography. So we have California, Denver, Texas, Nashville, we obviously have some, and then we'll have one up in the Northeast as well.
Oh, wow.
But so if anything did happen, right, for a breakdown, something happens and we need to go pick somebody up, we've got a coach there, someone can hop in and go pick them up. And we did it last year for not one of our tours, right?
Yeah.
We got a call and someone asked for a favor, and listen, we helped them out. And I think people should know that we're
we are part of the community. We recognize a small industry, so it doesn't matter what firm you're with, bus company or tour or otherwise, we're here to help. So I think, it's just it's too small of an industry for people to be, we're doing it our way, we do our work only. Like, I think we have to be able to help other people out.
I love that. A rescue coach. Man, oh man, I love that. Well, thank you so much. This was so fun, and I'm really excited for our event.
Yes,
it was really special for me, who's, only knows tour buses finished and, sleeping and using it as a home. But to actually see a gutted tour bus and like all that goes into it and the people that it takes and the creativity and the craftsmanship, it's really special. So I'm excited for our gigs members to be able to see that and learn more about it. So thank you so much for letting us come see this, and we'll see you here in a month.
Sounds great. Thanks, Nikki.
Thank you.